Hi everyone, it's Lindy, and today I want to talk to everyone about meditation and awakening through meditation. And I knew I wanted to make a video today, and I had an amazing meditation experience today that was about an hour long, and I it was so amazing and so profound, and I got so many amazing messages like brought forth that are so important to share that it kind of took me a while to actually figure out, okay, what is like the main focus of this video going to be. But I decided to just make this video about awakening through meditation and what my awakening experience has been um, with meditation, and why it's so important to incorporate meditation in your life. I mean, if you're into it, I am really happy that I started trying meditation out a few years back, because at this point in my meditation, like I said, I'm able to go into an hour meditation, and the time that I'm allowed to meditate just keeps getting longer and longer the longer I practice it. And the experiences in the meditation from going within are more and more profound. So, um, it is almost as if, not almost as if, it is that now the world and like the dimension that I enter when I go into a meditation and go within is so real that it's just as real as my life here, um, in this dimension, in this density on this planet. So I say on this planet because I do drift off into outer space and have journeyed to other planets in my meditation. So, this video, it might get a little, sci-fi-ish sounding, and I'm just raising the awareness of actually how like integrated we actually are as humans, and how our story is not just here on Earth. Our story is connected to the rest of the galaxy, connected to the rest of the universe. And we are so much bigger than just confined to this reality on this earth, on this plane of existence. All right, so anyway, let me tell you a little bit about how meditation was when I got started. I just started meditating because I really just did not understand a lot about developing my own spirituality and finding my own answers. And I was always looking outside of myself to figure out the deeper answers. And what I've discovered now is that all those answers lie within, and you can answer all your own questions. You have all the answers within yourself. And that is actually like the most important message I want to spread about meditating, is that you find that all the answers lie within you, instead of having to search outside of yourself for the answers, or for faith, or for trust, or um, for any love, or any of these important um, emotions and important things that we look for to help inspire us, and make it through and find our life purpose and find out more about who we are and why we're here, and really what our journey here is. So it started out just like actually wanting to meditate just for relaxation and like clearing my head and trying to make a conscious contact with some type of higher power, looking into the bigger question of God and what is that. And that's kind of where it started for me. But it took a lot of dedication, because at first it was like very hard for me to even clear my mind, and allow space, to talk to my heart or to speak to my higher self or to get guidance in that way or to even relax. Um, and I found it very hard to sit still. Um, and I'm smiling and laughing about that now because it's so different now. Um, so I just stayed the course. And my meditation, of course, other things started happening as well. Once I started meditating, I then like started to get Reiki done and started to read books about really interesting spiritual topics that I was interested in and watching shows. And so all of this stuff like around like similar topics like all started to come together. But I feel that the very first thing that happened was I started to meditate. And then my world started like opening up, and I started like picking up more and more breadcrumbs, solving these riddles or just making sense out of bigger concepts that never made sense to me before. It all started to come together the more I just sat in quiet and allowed space in my heart to open up and clear my mind and allow my third eye to open and really trying to get that to open. And there's so many routes I could go down because there's meditation for like basically anything that you could imagine. Um, but yeah, life started to open up a lot more. And the meditations started opening up a lot more. And I started to just feel more spiritual presence in my life, that I was being guided and that things were not just happening by chance, but that there is actually a spiritual presence working behind the scenes in my life. And so that applies to everyone. Everyone has guidance that is working behind the scenes in their life, and everything is grandly orchestrated. But for those of us who are not awakened and pulled out of the matrix, I like to call it, quite yet, it can seem very confusing, and it can also seem that things just happen randomly and there's no guidance really occurring. But when you start going within and waking up, in through meditation, then this whole other world opens up to you, and you start to realize that you are actually being guided to get the answers that you need for the questions that you have, and whatever those may be. And that's what's so beautiful, is that it helps everyone um, find themselves more. And then you start making more sense of the world as well, because you start knowing yourself better. So then the rest of the world, you get to know better as well. Um, so I started seeing color and getting sensations of warmth and love. And I really felt like it was a love, like godly energy. I started to feel that. Um, and I started to pray in my meditations, just like, if like if God is out there, like what is God? And it started with like questions like that. And then the questions got like more deep and more like kind of off the wall. And this whole nother world started opening up. So I felt like my third eye started like opening up, because in my meditation I started to see like a really deep indigo color, and I would get that very strongly a lot in my meditations. Then I started seeing other colors, and I've seen many different colors now in my meditations. So this still occurs in my meditations. But then, as that progressed, then I actually started to set intentions in my meditations. And this is where the magic happened for me. And this is where I started to really discover a lot through meditation and get profound information and answers to my questions. Answers to my questions just flew in. Like, I'm just like, I don't even have this idea. This is like divinely inspired. So I started to set an intention, which is so important. And the first intention, after I take a couple of really deep breaths and relax and create that relaxed state, then I create a space where my heart can come forward, and my ego can go back. Because what I have discovered, and this was a very big message brought forth to me today, is that when we are here in this reality, living this life here on earth, um, our ego, at least this is one of my struggles that I'm discovering I have, and I know a lot of people live like in their ego completely without even actually realizing that that's what's going on. The heart actually has a completely different energy than the mind does, and the ego does. The ego is more of like the survival mode, our reptilian brain. And the ego um, likes to think it's very important and actually creates fear. And the heart heals the fear. And so if you really at first it's very, very hard for us to train ourselves to live um, in a more heart-centered, loving way. We are so conditioned, every single one of us is conditioned to live in the ego and let the ego run the show. And so this is a very important thing in meditation. If you really want to have some amazing experiences in your meditation and journey, it allows you to bring that heart energy forward and really make that the focus and draw the ego back. When we lock all of our thoughts away and put them aside and create space for our heart to come forward, the ego immediately goes back, and the ego is no longer running the show. Um, the ego is like a much smaller voice in the background. When you are in a meditation where you have cleared your mind and cleared your thoughts and allowed your heart to come forward, and you're really ready to journey. And now I actually do ask many questions, and I actually want to like dive into this so much deeper. So I actually think that I am going to make several videos about meditation, but slightly different experiences or intentions that you can set in your meditation. But just know that this is how great meditation can be, is you actually, I realize that now when I am frustrated, or I'm sad, or I am confused, or I'm not sure about what decision to make, instead of going around and asking everyone or trying to find the answers outside of myself, I actually just take some time to go meditate and set an intention for that meditation and ask some questions. And my spirit guides do come forward, and there's a galactic council that I have met with, and they come forward and they answer the questions, and it's just so amazing. Um, and so maybe I'll, make some other videos and dive more in deep to this topic, because it's a wonderful topic that everyone should develop. Everyone should develop meditation. Not every meditation abilities. Not everyone does. Um, but for those of you who really want to dive into it with me, I will show you so much more in the videos coming up. But for now, just know that all the answers lie within you. And just when you go into a meditation, the first thing you want to do is really take some deep breaths, clear your mind, and allow space for your heart to come forward. And ask questions that you want answered. And with practice, those questions will start being answered, and so much more. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. I hope this video was so interesting to you. And have a blessed day. Good night.